हमको ऐसा वर दो, सेवा समरन सत्संग झोली में मेरे भर दो। गुरुदेव मेरे दाता, हमको ऐसा वर दो। सेवा हो शबरी सी और ध्यान हो मीरा सा, श्रद्धा हो तुलसी सी और बोल कबीरा सा। गुरुदेव मेरे दाता, हमको ऐसा वर दो। नफरत जो करे हमसे, हम उनसे प्यार करे। बुरा जो कहे हमसे, हम उनका भला सोचे। गुरुदेव मेरे दाता, हमको ऐसा वर दो। देखो मैं सब में तुम, मुझे ऐसी नजर दे दो। मेरी ही नजर से तुम आंखें न चुरा लेना। गुरुदेव मेरे दाता, हमको ऐसा वर दो। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरुदेव मेरे दाता, हमको ऐसा वर दो। सेवा समरन सत्संग झोली में मेरे भर दो। गुरुदेव मेरे दाता, हमको ऐसा वर दो। हरिओम।
Shall I start?
Yes, Amma.
Hari Om. This is Mainaki. अब सौंप दिया इस जीवन का सब भार, अब सौंप दिया इस जीवन का सब भार तुम्हारे हाथों में। हे जीत तुम्हारे हाथों में और हार तुम्हारे हाथों में। अब सौंप दिया इस जीवन का सब भार तुम्हारे हाथों में। मेरा निश्चय एक यही, एक बार तुम्हें पा जाऊं, अर्पण कर दूं दुनिया भर का सब प्यार तुम्हारे हाथों में, सब प्यार तुम्हारे हाथों में। जो जग में रहूं तो ऐसे रहूं, जो जल में कमल का फूल रहे। मेरे गुण दोष समर्पित हो, गोपाल तुम्हारे हाथों में। अब सौंप दिया इस जीवन का, सब भार तुम्हारे हाथों में। जब जब संसार का कैदी बनूं, निष्काम भाव से कर्म करूं, फिर अंत समय में प्राण तजूं, निराकार तुम्हारे हाथों में। फिर अंत समय में प्राण तजूं, साकार तुम्हारे हाथों में। मुझ में तुझ में बस भेद यही, मैं न रहूं आप नारायण हो। मैं हूँ संसार के हाथों में, संसार तुम्हारे हाथों में। अब सौंप दिया इस जीवन का, सब भार तुम्हारे हाथों में, सब भार तुम्हारे हाथों में।
Thank you, Amma. Lata ji? Lalita Mani ji.
They are both muted still, Lalita ji and Lalita ji.
Yeah. Where is Lata? I think she's going to start off.
This used to be a, hello, my name is Lata. I'm going to sing along with Lalita ji, a bhajan that was a favorite with Pramilaji. She used to sing it a lot. And every time, we sing it, fond memories come to our mind. Hari Sharanam, Hari Sharanam, Hari Sharanam, Hari Sharanam.
Krishna Sharanam, Sri Krishna Sharanam, Krishna Sharanam, Sri Krishna Sharanam.
Guru Sharanam, Guru Sharanam, Guru Sharanam, Shri Guru Sharanam. Hari Sharanam, Hari Sharanam, Hari Sharanam, Shri Hari Sharanam. Thank you.
Hari Om, thank you so much for the beautiful bhajans, Prabhaji, Mainakaji, and Lalitaji and Lata. We will play a video or slideshow of all the beautiful photos, which was mostly prepared by the family members, and we have added some mission photos as well at the end.
सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले सम्प्राप्ते नहीं नहीं रक्षति दुख करणे नहीं नहीं रक्षति दुख करणे भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम गोविंदम भज मूढ़मते मूढ़ जहि धनागम तृष्णा मूढ़ जहि धनागम तृष्णा पुरुष बुद्धि मनसि वितृष्णा पुरुष बुद्धि मनसि वितृष्णा यल्लभसे निज कर्मोपातम् यल्लभसे निज कर्मोपातम् वित्तं तेन विनोदय चित्तम् भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दम् भज मूढमते यावत्पितोपार्जन शक्तः तावत् निज परिवारो रतः यावत्पितोपार्जन शक्तः तावत् निज परिवारो रतः पश्चाज्जीवति जर्जर देह पश्चाज्जीवति जर्जर देह वार्ता कोऽपि न पृच्छति गेहे वार्ता कोऽपि न पृच्छति गेहे भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दम् भज मूढमते मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वम् हरति निमेषात् काल सर्वम् मा कुरु धन जन यौवन गर्वम् हरति निमेषात् काल सर्वम् मायामयमिदम् अखिलं हित्वा मायामयमिदम् अखिलं हित्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा ब्रह्मपदं त्वं प्रविश विदित्वा भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दम् भज मूढमते सुरमन्दिरतरु मूलनिवासः शय्या भूतलम् अजिनं वासः सुरमन्दिरतरु मूलनिवासः शय्या भूतलम् अजिनं वासः सर्वपरिग्रह भोगत्यागः सर्वपरिग्रह भोगत्यागः कस्य सुखं न करोति विरागः कस्य सुखं न करोति विरागः भज गोविन्दम् भज गोविन्दम् गोविन्दम् भज मूढमते भगवद्गीता किञ्चिदधीता भगवद्गीता किञ्चिदधीता गङ्गाजललव कणिका पीता भगवद्गीता किञ्चिदधीता गङ्गाजललव कणिका पीता सकृदपि येन मुरारी सकृदपि येन मुरारी समर्च सकृदपि येन मुरारी Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jathare Shayanam, Punarapi Janani Jathare Shayanam, Iga Samsare Bahutustare, Iga Samsare Bahutustare, Kripaya Pare Pagi Murare, Kripaya Pare Pagi Murare, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, Geyam Gita Namasakasram, Jeyam Shipati Rupamajasram, Geyam Gita Namasakasram, Jeyam Shipati Rupamajasram, Neyam Sajjana Sangachitam, Neyam Sajjana Sangachitam, Neyam Dina Janaya Jamitam, Neyam Dina Janaya Jamitam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, Arthamanatham Bhavaya Nityam, Nasti Tada Sukha Lesha Satyam, Arthamanatham Bhavaya Nityam, Nasti Tada Sukha Lesha Satyam, Putradapi Dhana Bhajam Bhitihi, Putradapi Dhana Bhajam Bhitihi, Sarvatraisha Vihitaritihi, Sarvatraisha Vihitaritihi, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, Guru Charana Bhuja Nibhara Bhaktaha Samsara Dachirat Bhavamutaha, Guru Charana Bhuja Nibhara Bhaktaha Samsara Dachirat Bhavamutaha, Sendriyamanasa Niyamadevam, Sendriyamanasa Niyamadevam, Drakshasi Nija Hridayastam Devam, Drakshasi Nija Hridayastam Devam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate.
Hari Om. We welcome Swamiji and the Vedanta teachers and all the family members and the Chinmaya Mission members here to gather and remember Pramilaji and the love she had for all of us. And to remember Pramilaji without Vishnuji, they go together, both the names go together. So I invite Lalita ji to say some few words to share her fond memories of Pramilaji. Lalita ji is not only a student, but also a very close friend of Pramilaji. We have known many times we have seen Lalitaji and Pramilaji together. She has driven Pramilaji to the chapter many times. So Lalitaji, please share with us how you have known Pramilaji and in what capacity and how long. Thank you.
Thank you, Gomiti. My name is Lalita Mani, and I have the honor of highlighting the life and contributions of our beloved spiritual teacher, Pramilaji. She came from Nepal to the United States with her now late husband, Vishnuji, and her 3 young children, Pranaya, Pranita, and Pramoda. And Pranita, if you are here, would you identify yourself and wave to us? And Pramoda too. Pranita, are you there?
You can unmute and say hello.
Ah, there we go. Yes. Hi, we can see you. Hi.
Pranita is here. Pranaya is on a camping trip, and Pramada is on a 15 bike hike. She's training for 30-mile Alzheimer's.
Okay.
Alzheimer's fundraising thing that's coming up, so she can't be here.
All right. But we are happy you are here.
I'm here.
All right. Thank you. So more words about you sweet mother. Pramilaji was a trailblazer in the academic world, one of a handful of women of her generation to successfully pursue a PhD in economics from the University of Massachusetts. She moved her family to Vienna, Virginia, when she started a job as a research scientist with the US Department of Agriculture. Pramilaji was drawn to the study of Vedanta and was inspired by Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda to take up initially the 4.5-month-long Dharma Seva course at Chinmaya Mission to see if this was an interest she wanted to pursue. After completing this course, Pramilaji started teaching study groups as early as 1988, which she did from the temple that she lovingly designed in her very own home. She indeed had found her life purpose, and therefore took the bold step of taking early retirement from the government and going to Sandeepany in Mumbai to do the intense 2-year brahmachari course. This reflected her commitment and passion for the study of Vedanta. She was mentored and taught by Guruji Swami Tejomayananda and was appointed by him to teach at CMWRC in 2007, beginning at the Springfield Center and then at Chinmaya Somnath when it opened. She was a dedicated teacher for many years, till she had to step back because of her health issues. In the Chinmaya Mahima souvenir, published in 2016, Pramilaji's tribute to Swami Chinmayananda read, Pujya Gurudev, I feel your love and blessings every day of my life. Your influence and mentorship inspired me to follow in your footsteps and pursue teaching of Vedanta. I am forever grateful to you. Her tribute to Swami Tejomayananda read, Pujya Guruji, with your loving encouragement and upadesha, I undertook the formal study of Vedanta at Sandeepany. You taught me and have blessed me with the opportunity to serve the Chinmayananda community. I will always remain your grateful disciple. True to these words, she was in debt to her teachers. As Alexander the Great once said, I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. As a teacher at Chinmaya Mission, Pramilaji connected the members of the Chinmaya community and forged a bond by having monthly potluck lunches at different members' homes, and inviting both the adults and the children. She made Mother's Day a special celebration for the members, having picnics at the Berkeley Park and exalting the roles mothers played in the children's lives. She loved the children who came to Balavihar and sparkled when she was around them. To her study group students, Pramilaji was a friend, counselor, and a teacher. Among these study groups was her Upanishad group, where she started with Bhagavad Gita and then went on to teach Isa Vasya, Kena, Sveta Vastara, and Mundaka Upanishads. For her Devi group, more absorbed in the Bhakti tradition, she taught Mukundamala and Ramana Maharshi's Upadeshasaram, singing these verses in her soft, melodious voice. Pramilaji's very being personified love. She brought bhava in the way she taught, gazed, smiled, and uttered every single word. She spoke with authority and insight as she expounded on the Upanishads, delving deep into Shankara's bhashyams to elaborate on the meaning. She wove the concept of bhakti into her teaching of Vedanta to emphasize its esteemed place in our literature and to demonstrate that knowledge can be revealed through bhakti. We will be forever grateful to Pramilaji for her selfless dedication to her students and for imparting her wisdom with her signature affection and kindness. We will miss you. We will miss her gentle presence in our lives. And personally speaking, in addition to being a student of hers from 1988 onwards, I consider it a blessing that I had the opportunity to serve her in many ways, driving her to classes, cooking for her, traveling with her to meet Guruji during his last trip to Boston and to India to visit Ramanashram. And through those years, sharing moments of fun and laughter with her. She started me on my spiritual journey, and with all her love, left me in a place of abundance and fulfillment. Thank you, my very dear Pramilaji. Hari Om.
Thank you so much, Lalitaji, for sharing so much about Pramilaji with us. My name is Sudita Kasturi. I had the honor and pleasure of serving as co-director of Balavihar with Gomati under the guidance of Pramilaji at the Springfield chapter. So we got to work closely with Pramilaji, and she was a constant presence in my children's life. And whether it was their Upanayinam or a Paduka Puja at our house, they had the good fortune of growing up around Pramilaji and Vishnuji. I would now like to introduce Krishnanji, who is a longtime member of Chinmaya Mission and was the director of Springfield chapter, while Pramilaji was the Vedanta teacher at Springfield. Krishnanji, if you could share with us a little bit more about how long you have known Pramilaji and your memories of Pramilaji, that would be beautiful. Thank you so much.
Hari Om. It is certainly very nice to see so many familiar faces here to honor and remember Pramilaji. I had the privilege and blessing of knowing Pramilaji since her return from Sandeepany in 2007. First as an Acharya at the Springfield chapter of CMWRC, and then subsequently as a student in her Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad classes in the basement of her home in Vienna. As a teacher of our scriptures, I found her knowledge base to be extensive and very diverse. She was a passionate believer in what the scriptures taught us. And for her pravachans, she was always very, very well prepared. As a person, I found her to be an inspiring role model. What she taught, she practiced. She was always very open, warm, giving, rarely ever without a beaming smile on her face. She was a true friend and a guide to all of us, her students. She adored children, and my son Karthik was the beneficiary of innumerable hugs from her. And even after he left for college 10 years ago, she continued to constantly inquire about his welfare and progress. I will forever miss her, miss the weekly classes we have in her basement temple with the beautiful Shivalingam, the Ganesha, and Devi Vigrahams. Her guided meditation sessions, the hot chai and crackers that we invariably had during the break, followed by her pravachans. And oftentimes, just to show you the passion she had for what she taught, while she taught, I would notice a tear forming in her eye and then slowly drop. May she rest in eternal peace in the Lord's loving embrace. And I would be remiss if, in wrapping up my comments, I did not recognize Pranita and other family members in the wonderful care they took of her through the course of the devastating illness that claimed her from us. Namaskar. Hari Om. Thanks again for the opportunity to make a few comments here.
Hari Om, Krishnaji. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful to hear. We do miss Pramilaji. Next, I would like to invite Anandji, our Vedanta teacher here at Chinmaya Somnath. And Pramilaji and Anandji were classmates at Sandeepany and were close friends as well. So Anandji, please share with us some of your thoughts and talk about Pramilaji and your association with, how you have known Pramilaji for these years. Thank you.
Hari Om. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Hari Om. Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. As Gomati ji just mentioned, Pramilaji and myself attended the Vedanta course together. I had known Pramilaji even before that, but not as much. So in 2005, after the course started, a week later, lo and behold, who do I see? I see Pramilaji there. And I asked her, what are you doing here? And she said, I've come to join the course. How wonderful. At the same time, I was really impressed with someone in their mid-60s showing up there all by herself, leaving back Vishnuji here, her children and grandchildren. All that didn't matter. She just showed up. She didn't even have the right visa. And during the stay, we had to go back and take care of all that. So she was just, so dedicated to the cause. That's how she was. And as Lalita had mentioned, she had done the Dharma Seva course also before. So her dedication to the study of Vedanta and the propagation of Vedanta is unquestionable. And she was not in even the best of health, even at that time. She had numerous health issues, all that notwithstanding. She was there. And to add one more thing, the Vedanta course is not meant for people like age-wise, people like Pramilaji and myself who get there in their 50s and 60s. It's still a young person's game. So it is challenging. At the same time, especially for the young ladies who had joined the course, they have also been there mostly for the first time in their lives. These are 20-somethings that have come there, these young ladies. We had about 10, 12 of them. And to them, Pramilaji was like a mother. It was so good. They were always hanging out with her. And you know, when you're attending the course, you're not supposed to go out of campus. But then, you know, youngsters, what youngsters, even adults, you know, we've not gotten away from those worldly attractions. Of course, the best attraction is what? Snacks. So it was good that Pramilaji was there, because Pramilaji was there, Vishnuji was there, and he was not doing the course. He didn't have any restrictions. So he used to go out, and then there'll be a steady stream of visitors to her room. Nobody ever showed up in my room. Later, I found out, how is it that she's so popular? She was the Amazon lady, an amazing lady, no doubt. So people come and give the list of things that Vishnuji is supposed to go out and get for them. So I just want to share some of, this is a solemn occasion, but I do want to share some of these things. It was really a blessing, as others have pointed out, to have come in her life. One more thing I would like to share with you. You know, there is a phrase that we use. Someone is there out to help, no matter what. Give the shirt out for you or something like that, right? She literally did for me. You may wonder, what is that? Yeah. As soon as the course started, a week later, we had the Navratri celebrations. And as on the Vijayadashami day, the conclusion, we had a cultural program. And I played a part in that. I played the part of a housewife. Okay, so this is just the beginning of the course, and then they wanted the guys and girls not to mix that much, have a little bit more. So like in the good old days of movies and plays, men played women's roles as well. So as a housewife, I am supposed to wear a blouse. Where am I going to go get a blouse? Pramilaji came to the rescue. He literally gave her blouse for me. That's part of my costume. Throughout the 2 years, you know, we really enjoyed having her. And after both of us completed the course, both of us were assigned to the Virginia centers at that time, Virginia chapters. She came to Springfield and I came to Dallas. And both of us worked together. It was indeed a pleasure working together in Virginia. And then after that, when we consolidated the two chapters into Chinmaya Somnath, we worked together. And if at all, if I have some regrets, you know, we were not able to work even more there. Actually, we had designed a program, and as Lalitaji was mentioning, she wanted to teach Bhakti Vedanta. And we had planned on starting a class devoted. Unfortunately, that is when she had a lot more health issues. And I think we just had one inaugural session for that. And then after that, we were not able to continue that. So that was her passion. That is what she brought in. Everybody brings in their own unique style to teaching. And that was hers. You know, Vedanta can be very dry. You are Atman, I am Atman, everybody is Atman. So what, tell me something more about it. Okay. She was not like that. She was able to bring the bhakti rasa into the teaching. And it is my regret that we were not able to truly benefit. I'm glad some of you did. I'm sure in her study groups and small classes that she conducted at home, she did share that with you. We had talked about also visiting India together to go back to Tiruvannamalai, and we were planning to do that. She wanted to go visit Villanadu, Chinmaya International Foundation, and Pramilaji and myself were planning to go, but unfortunately that didn't come to pass. So I wish we had done that. But I'm so blessed to have come in her company and to have shared some wonderful years in Virginia, the Virginia chapters, and in Chinmaya Somnath. May her soul rest in peace. Hi.
Thank you so much, Anandji, for sharing that, because I think you're one of the few people here who has those unique memories of your time together in India, to share those unique experiences with us. We really appreciate that. You know, Pramilaji's commitment to teaching is legendary. When Gomati and I had requested her to teach a class for the teachers, because the teachers couldn't attend, the Balavihar teachers couldn't attend the Gita Pravachan that was going on because they were with the students, she offered to come 1 hour early so that the teachers could attend a class and teachers could learn, so then they could invest more, and they invested in themselves to invest in the students. So I still recall that conversation that Gomati and I had, and we were hesitant to ask her because it was asking more of her than she was already doing so much for her. But she was just like, yes, I will be there. Don't worry about it. Vishnuji would be there and they would both come and she would teach the class. And this was like 8 o'clock in the morning or something on a Sunday that we would all have to gather so that we could do this class in the morning. So thank you so much for sharing those memories. I would now like to introduce Lata Kumar ji. She's also been a longtime member of Chinmaya Mission. She was a Balavihar teacher at Springfield. And Lata ji, if you could share some of your memories and how you got to know Pramilaji, that would be so wonderful.
Hari Om. Thank you for the opportunity to express my deep gratitude to Pramilaji and to honor her memory. I want to express my gratitude to Pramilaji, who was to me a guru, a mentor, and a friend. I remember fondly the times I would pick her up and drive her on Sunday mornings to the Mukunda Mala class at Chinmaya Somnath. I felt I was playing the role of Sarathi to Pramilaji. I enjoyed the drive where I had her exclusively to myself, and we would talk about different things from Vedantic concepts that I grappled with to my personal challenges in raising my children. She always had a kind word, and she never ever, she was always ready to impart her wisdom to me. I will never forget the solace she provided when I was going through a dark time, having lost my husband to cancer in 2014. She would speak words of comfort and help me understand and come to terms with my loss, saying it was just the mortal body that Krishna had left and that his presence would be always with me. I remember her kindness when she would call me periodically, and typically in her fashion, she would say early morning at 9 o'clock, she would call me Lata, in the way she would address me, to see how I was doing afterwards. I enjoyed Pramilaji's Saturday morning Upanishad classes at her home when she would offer her wonderful tea before class, along with a prasad she had made and some crackers. Speaking of crackers, I am reminded of the special Indonesian sweet crackers that I would bring for her from my trips to Jakarta. She loved them. She always would tell them, when are you going to bring some more of them? And then she would tell me in a soft undertone that she was going to hide them from Vishnuji so that she could enjoy them all by herself. Pramilaji was unique in being many things to us. She was an acharya who shared her vast knowledge of Hindu scriptures and also her study of other religions. She was a friend to whom we could turn for comfort and counselor who gave us practical wisdom for living. She was dedicated to her gurus, Gurudev, Sri Chinmayananda, Guruji, and her beloved Ramana Maharishi, whose picture of Tiruvannamalai took center stage in her beautiful temple in her house. Thank you, Pramilaji, for touching our lives with your presence. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you so much, Lata. It was such a beautiful experience with Pramilaji to hear. Truly, thank you for sharing that with me. Most of all, Pramilaji was a person who is full of love. Coming from South, we really don't hug people. I am not used to it. Usually we'll say, and try to not touch other people in front of you. That I'm from South of the South. So when the first time I really started hugging somebody is Pramilaji. Every time we try to touch her feet, she'll say, "Govardhanji," and not a slight hug or like the formal hug the kids give, like this, and it's like a squeeze tight hug. So I really want to say I've learned to hug people from Pramilaji. Such a loving person. So I want to thank her. Remember the hugs that she gave it to all of us. And now I want to invite Shyam here. Shyamana was very closely associated with the Pramilaji. He was the coordinator at some time, and I think he needs to say what are all activities he has been associated with Pramilaji and how Pramilaji has helped us. Shyamana, would you share some of your thoughts, please?
Sure. Thank you, Gomati. Hari Om. Thanks for this opportunity. And also, as everybody said, I'm also blessed to have known Pramilaji, and I have very personal memories which I do not want to talk about now. I will go with my so-called prepared speech. I was fortunate enough to be a Balvihar parent and also a volunteer at Chinmaya Mission at the same time when Pramilaji was our Vedanta teacher. She became our resident Acharya, the formal designation in those days, in 2007 when she returned from Sandeepany. We used to meet at West Springfield High School in Virginia. My earliest memories of Pramilaji and Vishnuji go back to the late 1990s when we used to meet in Viveka Chudamani classes at Shobhaji and Raju Chidambaram's home in Alexandria. As a new member and a young Balvihar parent, I was very shy and hesitant to talk to elderly senior members. But I think Pramilaji understood this and started the conversation herself. When we spoke to Pramilaji, she listened intently, paid full attention, and would put us at ease, just like when talking to our mothers. Similarly, I remember Vishnuji greeting me with his signature laughter with the words, "Kaise ho Shyam bhai?" He assumed the role of a big brother and took upon himself the responsibility that comes with that role. As a Vedanta teacher, Pramilaji was a perfect confluence of Vairagya, dispassion, and Vatsalya, motherly affection. In the past 10 days, I spoke to several of my friends who knew Pramilaji, and their first reaction was a loving person. Oh, she was a caring person. She touched our hearts. That is very true. When she taught complex Vedantic concepts, the message touched her students' hearts directly. Mechanics of message delivery became unimportant. While teaching Gita classes or any Vedantic text, she was like a mother feeding her children with tasty, nourishing food to ensure her children's growth. We all know the famous Annapurna Stotra of Bhagavan Sri Adi Shankaracharya. where he prays Mother Goddess as, please give me the alms of Gnana and Vairagya. Gnana Vairagya Siddhartham Bhikshan Dehi Cha Parvati. This suited Pramilaji very well. Likewise, she was a reluctant disciplinarian. She would correct her students only if absolutely necessary and only if it brings shreyas to her students. If it is beneficial to her students, she would go and correct the flaw in their judgment. This reminds me, Pramilaji introduced the practice of celebrating Mother's Day with a picnic to a nearby park. That was a very big deal in those days. You might have heard of an old adage, the best way to a person's heart is through stomach. Similarly, Pramilaji knew that the best path to a student's mind is through the heart. She showed us that bhakti, love and devotion, is the path to gnana. As a successful mother, grandmother, the art of transforming one's heart was natural to her. I will be failing in my duty if I don't thank Poudel's immediate family for letting their parents show their love and wisdom with the rest of us. My request to you is to continue your family's association with us, and please treat us as your extended family. Thank you. I have very many memories, but I do not want to go into that. I may break down. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you so much, Shamji. I remember those Berkeley picnics and all the moms got to sit and do nothing while all the dads and all the gentlemen waited on us. It was a very special, special time for all of us. I would now like to ask Swamiji to share Swamiji's thoughts with us. As all of you know, Swamiji has been our resident Vedanta teacher since 1989 at CMWRC. And Gomati and I, in preparation for today, were reminiscing about when Swamiji had introduced Pramilaji in 2007 to the Springfield congregation. And, you know, as Swamiji had said, the embodiment of love, you know, was with us at Springfield there. So Swamiji, if I may ask Swamiji to share some thoughts with us.
Hari Om. Before I share, I would like to ask if anybody else would like to share your fond memories, because I saw somebody showing a hand. Ah, yes, please. Sushilji. You have to unmute, please.
Hari Om Swamiji. Long time afterwards we're seeing you. And I would like to take everybody back to almost about 30 years. At that time, there were very few members. If you remember, maybe very few, and especially in the Virginia group. And every month, we used to have bhajans and potluck dinner. And we had a big, I think we had a big basement. So normally we used to have bhajans, and Pramilaji would come, and her, I think, most favorite bhajan was Madhuram. And every time she would come, she would sing that. And it was so mesmerizing, because I can't remember the words, but her tune, where she sang it, it was so impressive. And we used to enjoy that. And so we have known her for quite some time. And her smile was always there. Whereas Bishnuji, yeah, he had smile, but he had a big laughter also. And that's between the two of them, they really worked very well together. Then we joined her group also when she was conducting classes in her home. And those who have gone to her home, her full basement was full of one big temple. I've seen people's houses but I've never seen that size of a temple in anybody's house. And she would have that regular classes. And like everybody said, yeah, we enjoyed her cookies and her tea and all that. And it was after she went to India for her course, we still kept going and meeting her and enjoyed her teachings. She was just a pleasant person to be around. And like they said, yeah, hugging, she never hesitated from that. And it was always the same. Oh, how are you doing? So whether we meet after 15 days or whether we meet after 1 week, it was always like, you know her. And it's a very fond memory of her for us. So it's just wanted to say a little bit about that. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you, Sushilji.
Hari Om Swamiji, Karthik Balasubramaniam and Anita ji and Balan uncle are here as well. Swamiji.
Yes, please.
Karthik.
Pranita, I certainly, both Anu and I are here. We had a very unique perspective in that we were very blessed to have Pramilaji actually come to our home for 4 years and teach all kinds of text every Thursday. So we enjoyed and got a very different perspective of her to be able to have come to our home and enjoy dinner with us. Anu would look forward to it every Thursday. And we had done many different texts. And like others said, we had met Pramilaji when she became the Acharya for the Springfield chapter, and Megha was just coming up in kindergarten. And one of the things that Pramilaji did that was very unique was that as the Acharya for the whole chapter, she always wanted to be able to connect with the individual students as much as she can. So we have hosted her in our home after the end of the class. The whole class will drive down and we'll meet in our home once a month or once every other month, and then get a chance to talk to her. She loved children, and we still remember we are sitting here in the our family room where Pramilaji would sit right there. There's a favorite chair and table we had for her. She would sit in that and she would talk to us and walk through. And Vishnuji would always come pick her up at the end of the class, and he would chit chat with us. And we always had great memories. And she's a fantastic teacher. Who we have a very special place in our heart for her. We really do miss her. And again, my apologies for not being able to come, but we really do appreciate the opportunity, and we have a special place for her in our heart. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Vanita ji, would you like to say a few words? Vanita ji was the Devi group lead and Balavihar coordinator, director for 7 years plus, was very close to Pramilaji.
Hari Om. I have many fond memories of Pramilaji. She was a simple, loving and friendly soul, a mother figure, a big sister and a patient listener, and one of my greatest confidant. And Acharya who brought many of us ladies together in the Vienna Devi study group. The satsangs were held in my home for 3 to 4 years, sometimes alternately in other member homes. We shared potluck lunches too after our study group. We covered texts such as Bhakti Sudha, Upadesha Sara and Mukunda Mala. And she presented me with a framed photograph of Ramana Maharshi, which I have it here and I really cherish it. I also attended her study group of Tattva Bodh at Karthik and Anu's home. I often picked up Pramilaji and drove her to Chinmaya Somnath or to my home and other neighboring homes. I got to spend, some time with her like that. And when my sister visited from India, I took her to her home. And after she passed away of breast cancer, Pramilaji comforted me and brought me a lot of solace. One of her favorite hymns was Atma Rama Ananda Ramana, which I love to sing. And she loved bhajans and loved to be immersed in the Lord's glory through singing and discussion. Her companion Vishnuji was her ardent fan and supporter. It was very nice to witness their chemistry. Hari Om, thank you for the opportunity.
Hari Om, Vanita ji, thank you so much. Uncle, would you like to say a few words?
Which uncle you are talking?
Palan uncle.
Hello to all of you. It's so nice to see all of you. And all of us, we have changed our faces and still we are able to recognize each other. That's a beauty so far. And I would like to be brief because Swamiji has given a part of his time. And of course, I know.
I have not given my time. I am using my full time.
In any case, Swamiji will use his full time. I know that. I'll be brief and quick because many of you have already expressed all the best qualities, and still I would like to share my own personal touch with with her. And her sweetness and kindness is unparalleled. She's so sweet to everybody. There is no discrimination. I can't say that with all the teachers, with all the acharyas, not to talk of Swami Dhirananda ji is different. And she was so good to everybody, and she respects everybody, and I never seen her angry with anybody. And her kindness and affectionate to everybody, and as many of you have said, her typical smile cannot be duplicated by anybody. Very, very sweet and very, very smiling. And she had respect for everybody. And in spite of all her very high qualifications, I realized that much later when I heard of her very high qualifications, and also the subject, the economic subject, which is so difficult, but still she was always simple and humble. And I was impressed by the couple, Vishnuji and Pramilaji. They joined with each other so well and supported each other very well. And she had many facets of her life, and I have just touched the part which I came in contact with her. And I know that she is in the best place of her time, and I wish her all the best, and we seek her blessings wherever she is to give us the knowledge and the guidance to us. Hari Om. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We invite Pranita. Do you like to share some words with all of us, Pranita?
Before that, I would like to say that Pranita ji comes. If you really want to see Pramilaji in the physical form, you can see in Pranita ji. Now, Pranita ji, please.
I don't know if you all can see me or not.
We can see you.
I don't really know if I'm going to be able to say very much because I'm feeling very emotional. But I want to thank you all and her extended family. I mean, it was very difficult when she decided to go to Sandeepany. I'm not lying. You know, she was gone from us for 2 years, but it was a dream of hers. And, you know, above all, we want in family when we love each other for us to follow our heart and our bliss and, you know, reach out to our dreams. So she did that. And, you know, one of the things, along with everything everybody has said here about her kindness and sweetness and eloquence, and I was very fortunate through my whole life to learn from her wisdom. Even before she had words that she learned in Vedanta, and she was a very wise lady. She just intuitively knew how to comfort, what to say, and she was so incredibly intelligent. I mean, as a person and as a female, she was such an inspiration and has been such an inspiration to my family. At the same time, even though she was so, you know, had done a lot and achieved a lot, her family came first. And I don't remember a moment, except maybe when she went away for 4.5 months and then 2 years. Except for that, I don't remember a moment in my life not having my mother when I needed her. She was that kind of person. Or my grandchildren not having her when they needed her. You know, my children, excuse me, and my brother's daughter. So she was available for everybody all the time, anytime. And, you know, I'm so happy because she was truly a special person in this world, in this earth. And I think, you know, her next step, next journey in life is going to be very rewarding because of, you know, everything that she's done. And, you know, it was very difficult. You know, it's been difficult because this year, of course, we lost my mom, but then last year we lost my dad. And it was during COVID, so we couldn't even mourn properly. And I know, you know, a lot of people would have liked to have something for him as well, and we just weren't able to. So, you know, to me, they too are kind of a couple. They're my parents. So it's double sadness for us in my family, but it's so nice to know that she's so loved. And, you know, everything I have felt in my life from the day I was born about her, all of you are echoing, you know, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I really appreciate it. And this is such a lovely remembrance. Thank you so much.
Gomati?
Hariom, Shamana wanted to add something to the family members.
Okay. Because I wanted to say I want to take a minute too.
Okay.
This is Lalita.
Okay, go ahead, Lalita ji.
Since, you know, there was mention of that favorite bhajan of hers, you know, I wanted to take a minute and just sing it, and because she was sweetness personified and love personified. And so this Madhurashtakam, I just wanted to say the first two lines of it, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay. Adaram maduram vadanam maduram nayanam maduram hasitam maduram hridayam maduram gamanam maduram maduratipate akilam maduram maduratipate akilam maduram. I just wanted to sing that because it was mentioned by one of the other members, and it sort of personifies who she was.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prakashji, would you like to speak? Yeah.
Hariom. I just want to share one unique experience that we had. I don't know what it was, but Kiran and Pramilaji had a special bond. It was like her divine presence there at the Herndon High School. So Kiran will be looking at me, talking to me, and all of a sudden he will turn around, and he used to have a Fruit Loop in his hand. He will turn around and there would be Pramilaji just walking in, and he will hand it to her and say, "This is for you." I don't know how he came to know that she was there. It must be the divine presence that just triggered. And we always wondered about that. And she was so loving, as we all know. I just wanted to share that it always felt that it was a divine presence that she had. So, Hariom, thank you.
Sushila, do you want to say something?
I am just recollecting the wonderful times we used to share together in Silver Spring. I had just come to Baltimore, and we would meet there whenever there was a lecture happening on some Upanishad, a week series or something. They would come from Virginia. I would drive from Baltimore. And always after the sessions were over, she would say, "No, we should be meeting more often, but that's where it used to be." I have not, I was not in Virginia when the Springfield, and all of those chapters were being founded. So all of my association with Pramilaji and Vishnuji have been in those settings, not just within the Chinmaya family, but also we would meet when Swami Bhumanand Tirtha or somebody else is in the area. And those were my meeting points with her. And I just think all of us who have had an opportunity to cross paths, to meet her, to be in her presence, as was rightly said, have been blessed by the divine presence that is everywhere, but she used to be like a beacon emitting out those radiation that could be soaked in and were received by all the people around, and you could feel it palpably. We will all miss her, but we are all better for her. Thank you. Hari Om.
Anyone else like to share?
Hari Om, I am from Harleysville, Pennsylvania. I'd like to say a couple minutes. I am one of the old timers. I'm sure that Swamiji knows. Back home, back in 1977, we were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, wherein Pujya Gurudev happened to visit Pittsburgh for his series of lecture tour over on the East Coast. In a unconventional get-together, Pujya Swamiji and Gurudev used to tell us that you folks have come alone, and you, whenever you see somebody outside, you invite them for a company. But if you come in my company, you would know the great family across USA, not only across USA, but in India as well. So the family you are attempting to get together for the company, they are not the good families, they are pakoda friends. The good friends, if you associate with Chinmaya Mission, and how good are the words of Swami Chinmayananda that I have come to know so many of families across USA, across the world, I would say. I know everyone in many parts of America because I have been attending Vedanta studies through this Mahasamadhi camp every so often. And I happen to meet Pramilaji also there. And my memory with Pramilaji is I have been inviting her to come to Chinmaya Mission Harleysville to bless us. And the last time I had a talk with Pramilaji was at Chandubai. I do like to come to see, I have seen your project. I have heard great about the project that Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayananda has blessed our families in our area, Harleysville, Pennsylvania, west of Philadelphia. So she attempted to come one time, but somehow last minute she calls me. He says, sorry, I could not make. But I know for sure in my conversation with Pramilaji is that she is soft-spoken, as Pujya Guruji Swami Tejomayananda recently sent a message that Pramilaji was so soft-spoken. So is my personal experience with Pramilaji, and she has really reached the lotus feet of our Pujya Gurudev, and I wish her families, members well-being, and pray her that she reach ultimate goal of self-perfection at Gurudev's feet. Hari Om. Thank you.
Nanik Lahoriji, would you like to say something? You have to unmute. Maniji, can you unmute Nanik Lahoriji?
Yes, I have asked Nanikji to unmute.
Yeah, I think such a pleasure to listen to everybody. In fact, I've been writing certain notes, and everybody has expressed those deep feelings. What I have with Pramilaji. In fact, I was more in contact, equally in contact with Vishnuji also from a long time, from 80s, late 80s. And just the positive feelings. You know, when this one person, you know, Pramilaji was the person who imitated, as Suchita said, she imitated those positive divine vibrations. And anyone who came in contact with her, she was there, you could feel that the vibrations of the atmosphere has changed. You know, once in a while, I used to play the game with my daughter, who was meeting all the swamis and some of the members. And I used to ask her, okay, who is the sort of, you feel that what we say like sattvic person? And so we used to play the game. And that's the way I used to know, because I had some responsibility also sometime in Chinmaya Mission. And I used to give the names, a lot of names. And when Pramilaji's name came, and she was the person, I mean, my daughter, a young girl, she could get the vibration, and she said, among Rajasvik, Tamasvik, Sattvic, she'll put her in the Sattvic category, along with so many of the Chinmaya Mission devotees. Well, I mean, I have very, very pleasant memories, but then everybody has expressed. And even I put in my chat that she was the embodiment of love. And always, whenever you see Raman Maharshi or Gurudev's picture, you get those vibrations. And the same vibrations I mean, I always got from Pramilaji or even Vishnu. Well, I mean, there's a lot to say, but then these are the few words I express. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you. Sant Gupta ji, would you like to say a few words?
So I got to know Pramilaji through Dr. Poudel. I was introduced to Durga Temple management. I became president due to Dr. Poudel and his inspiration and his guidance. And after that, I met Pramilaji many times at her home. And she had a special connection with us because my mother used to live with us. And she is a music teacher. And she used to teach music at the Springfield school when the classes were held. And that's where my mom met Pramilaji, and then we used to frequent at her house. And as everybody has said, she was very soft-spoken, very kind, a person you could not forget once you met her. So I really cherished few minutes I had with her every so often, along with Dr. Poudel. And I feel blessed to have been in her company. I've listened to her pravachan, and I will always remember and have fond memories of her over the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Sant Gupta ji. Gomti, would you like to share a few words with Vishnu ji?
Vishnuji, I was sharing because he knows that I'm in business. So the moment he met me, he wanted me to be a part of the Rotary Club. He invited me to join, and it was an early morning club meeting, 6:30 p.m. and my accountant was delaying, and there was some delay, and he called the accountant at 6:50 a.m. in the morning, and the accountant picked it up, and it was only 5 days before tax filing. And that time I knew what an influential person he is. An accountant 5 days before tax filing days picks up the phone, talks to him, and asked me to come and meet the same day. So I felt and I'm still very good friends with her. We have the connection, but it speaks a lot, right? It says so much volume. He wanted to help me, and he wanted to help the accountant. He knows how to take care of people. And I was sharing with Mukta, we had so many special memories. As a married couple, we all have to look at them and idealize how they were good with each other. And he did everything she wanted. Everything. You want to go to a class, whatever she wanted, he did it for her. And I think that is Vishnuji is the biggest fan for Pramilaji. There is no other way for it. And they were so good with each other. With Pramilaji, we have so many mission stories, also the Devi groups. But her needs were never important for her. When we proposed, as you know, we wanted to bring the families together. So one time we suggested that we should organize family bhikshas. After the class, all the class students will come together in one house, and we will have a lunch bhiksha with the Pramilaji. Pramilaji would come to Springfield chapter, teach, and then go be with the family and have lunch bhiksha and tell stories and hug all those 15, 16 families and the children. It was beautiful feeling she could create for all of us, actually. So we never hesitated to approach her, and she was never hesitant to, never, nothing. If it's good for the mission, good for the families, she always put all of us in the front row than in the, anything else. She has shared so many stories with us. She has shared how she was a young mom with 3 children, how she would go to study in the winter, hard winter, how Vishnuji would take care of the children and the working mom, and how challenging it was to be a working mom in those days. I think it was in the 60s or 70s, her hardship, how today we talk about, women's equal rights and how much she has gone through those days. It's amazing. And she said that she married very young, and she came, and Vishnuji supported all of her education and took care of the children. And she took care of her mother also, did her duties as the, every role that can be played was played to perfection by Pramilaji. So we don't need to look farther than that. I mean, I have so many memories with Pramilaji. We have shared so many lunches and so many, special times that she had told me many, many stories. I think I'll stop, Mukta.
Wants to say something?
I don't know if you all can hear this. I found a little tiny few seconds clip of my mother singing. Are you interested?
Absolutely.
So let me try to put this loud. I don't know if you can hear it. It's so little. If anybody has video of her singing, I would love to have it, but here we go.
But where was the music?
Okay, here we go.
Can you dance?
Did you hear that?
Yes, that is beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
I listened to it over and over.
If any recordings are there, please share. That way we can compile all in one place. Anybody else would like to?
Sudita, would you like to say something?
Sure. There's just one thought I wanted to share. Pramilaji, every year there was summer camp, would make it a point. She would, we would call her, she would call, and she would make it a point to come and spend a few days at camp. And I know Avani, her granddaughter, used to come to camp also for many, many years. She attended camp also. And I recall in 2009, in the middle of summer camp, Srini and I had gotten some really bad news. And I had walked into camp right after receiving the news, and Pramilaji was the first one. I don't even know why she was at the entrance of the camp. She saw me and she knew something was wrong just looking at my face. And I remember those hugs that everybody has talked about. I remember her holding me and just letting me sob, like until I could calm myself, but even explain to her why I was so upset. And she never asked, she just held me when I explained what had happened. It was beautiful because there was the love of the mother, but there was the love of the teacher also, who could put in perspective what I was going through and what I was suffering and how it all fit in to the big picture and the Vedantic perspective on that. It was so much comfort. And I to this day don't know why she was at that entrance of the school, because we used to have summer camp at, the Fairfax County Public Schools. But I walked in and there she was, and there was that beautiful hug. And my mom was in India. And so, she wasn't there to hold me, but I didn't feel that loss. I felt like my mother was there and then just hold. And I still remember years before that when we had gone into the house and seen that temple, of being in awe of that beautiful temple in the basement there. It's just, I don't know, we are so blessed. My whole family, my children were so blessed that, we could be part of this journey and she could be part of our life. So thank you, Mukta, for, allowing me to share that.
Yeah, thank you. Neha?
Neha Krishna Kumar.
Yeah, so I remember as a kid, I was extremely close to Pramilaji. I spent a lot of time with her, and I remember one of my favorite things was I would always complain to her about Asha, about my sister, and she would be very patient, and she would listen to me complain about her, and that's something I'll always remember.
Thank you, Neha. Srini Kasturi.
Hari Om, everyone. I just wanted to share one quick guidance, I would say, that Pramilaji played in our life. Is I always struggled with this engineering mind trying to understand what devotion is and what love is. But over time, she helped us understand what love is, see what love is, feel it with all our senses, and also feel the joy of love. She personified it, and she started to put together teaching curriculum for Bhakti Vedanta, right? So we were trying to get some laptops set up for her and all, but it never completely materialized. But that love she has is itself a Upanishad for me, if you could. So I just wanted to share how amazing she was. Thank you. Hari Om.
Thank you, Sri.
Hello, Dr. Kamal Nideshmani want to say something. Hello, namaste. I was associated with Pramilaji in many ways, but I used to attend her Patanjali Yoga Sutra and Bhagavad Gita classes. That's the most significant. And as everybody said, she was extremely even-tempered and modest. And in spite of not studying Sanskrit, she learned enough with her own effort to talk about those things, even though she had not studied formally for Sanskrit. And that was quite a quality in her. And I miss those classes when I could not attend. I used to very much felt enlightened, as well as reminder of what I used to do in Bhagavad Gita as a child. But at that time, I did not do it with understanding, but chant just like that. But I started to pay attention and more interested into the Bhagavad Gita. One time she asked me to talk on chapter 3rd because she was busy or something was wrong, and I had to take that challenge. I hope I did not do very badly, but I feel good about it. And I always felt good in her company. as everybody else said. Yeah. And we, Kamalni and myself, we both went to her house to attend Patanjali Yoga Sutra classes for more than a year, you know, like, and it was very enlightening, you know. Thank you.
Raised his hands. Srini Nagulapalli.
Hari Om, everyone. I probably have the briefest interaction with Pramilaji way back in 96 or even earlier. And when Swamiji was taking classes in Shobha Chidambaramji's house on Mundaka Upanishad and Viveka Chudamani, my memory is, as Balajan Uncleji shared, she was very simple, very kind-hearted, and I always had questions for Swamiji, but she never thought that I'm interrupting or anything like that. So her respect for everyone, no matter how young or old everyone is, and her devotion left the strongest impression. Even after so many decades, I remember that very vividly. And when I have my own children and when I see kids asking questions, her memory comes to my mind. Like otherwise I would have said, why are they asking so many questions, And I remember her. She always was very patient and very simple, and her kindness. And she taught me the kindest heart leaves the strongest memory. Hari Om.
Anybody else?
Kanaka, do you want to share some thoughts, Kanaka?
Mainakiji?
I just wanted to share. I can't get my video on, so
No
for
problem.
some reason.
No problem.
I just wanted to share that they say that when you need a guru, somehow they come up just by themselves. And that's the way I read it in the newspaper, that somebody is opening up their house for anybody to go there and learn Patanjali. And that's the way I just started to go to her house from 1999 to almost whenever she ended, 1998 or something. And I really, really enjoyed it. And we live right next to each other, in next street. So I can bring her to my house sometimes and have some dinner together. And I have cooked some, she used to like chapatis and she can't make it. So I always take chapati and squash vegetable that Vishnuji and all used to enjoy them. And so I really got the opportunity to serve her that way once in a while. And then I used to have some other bhajan series that she used to like. So I will play, and then she told me to give me a copy of it, and so I gave it to her. And so we spent some time, when she was at the end, when she finished the classes, and then she was alone. So I used to go, I took her to the library and things like that. So I'm really fortunate to have that kind of a teacher, so valuable, loving, and I just don't know what to say more.
Thank you so much, Mainakiji.
I've known Pramilaji for a very long time. Pramilaji was introduced as Acharya at Springfield chapter, and then followed my husband and I used to go to her house for a lot of satsangs, and always very lovable and very kind to us. And as many of you know, my husband had this habit of asking questions all the time. But of course, you wouldn't have read it the previous week, but he had a good memory. He was never hesitant to ask questions. And Pramilaji would try to explain, and sometimes he wouldn't understand, but she had this kind way of I don't know the right word to say. I think it's chastising is the word, I think. She had a kind way of saying, Maniji, did you read what I told you last week? And Mani would have a big smile and say, I tried, Pramilaji, it didn't go into my head. Pramilaji will say, then again she'll try to explain, and she was so kind to him. And then she'll come and tell me, would you please tell your husband to read the thing before he comes to the class next time? So it was such a nice thing. She never lost her temper with him. And then she would give him a hug and say, Mani, I will try to explain to you again, okay? And she just was very special. And when I went through a tough time like Lata, Pramilaji was there. She used to call me, talk to me. So she's been through the good and bad times with me. Hari Om.
Thank you, Kanaka. Vijay Kumarji, would you like to speak now?
Hari Om. Thank you, Prabhu. I have put Pranam Swamiji, senior Vedanta teachers, my seniors, my colleagues, and my friends. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. I was fortunate and blessed to see her 1 week before she passed away. It was big because of Lalitaji. And I went to her house. Pranitaji was there. I prayed for her, though she was not conscious. And after getting information, Swamiji said to inform Guruji and Swarupanji. And I wrote to them and I got a reply from them. To get a reply is like a gift. It's only 2 lines. She reached Gurudev's feet. And that reply doesn't reflect me or Swamiji or the center. The reply from them says how they regarded Pramilaji. What is Pramilaji's position in their heart? That was reflected in the email, which says that her dedication and her contribution to Chinmaya mission. Everything, it is not written in the email, but it is understood. It's underlined meaning of that. And I shed tears. There was nothing to cry in that email, but I thought great Mahatmas, how they regard Acharya Pramilaji. That should be our attitude. Her funeral home, Money and King, sends us a message. Somebody asked, what is the message? Money and King, both doesn't come with us when we die. Money and King is the funeral home's name. We'll wonder what is Money and King doing to a funeral home. It will be somebody who dedicated the place or the county name, any other name. It always is Money and King. It says that 2 things which will not come to us. Money represents money, King represents position. No position, no money will come with us. Today we are holding memorial service. Every memorial service we attend, I know many of you attended already, is sending us a message. What is the message? My turn also will come. From this point to the day I depart, how should I behave? What should be my goal? What should be priority of my goal? That should be the one. Thank you very much. Pramilaji clearly pointed out through her life, her attitude. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Thank you so much, Vijay Kumarji. Swamiji, would you like to speak now?
Would there be anybody else? Don't think we don't have time. We have time. Okay. So as I said earlier, so if we want to see Pramilaji, we can see in Pranitaji. And I request Pranitaji to come any Saturday convenient to you. Please come to Kailas Nivas and I can see Pramilaji in you. So we can please join for a lunch picture or dinner picture, convenient to you. Please plan according to your convenience. I remember staying in Pramilaji's home and she made me rest in her book room. Imagine a kid in the candy store, how joyful the kid will feel in the candy store. It was like that for me in her book room. So many books I have never seen. Which book to read? I have only one night to stay. I took all the books down, whatever I can, and I don't know how many I could read, but I enjoyed my stay as though I'm enjoying candies in her book room. It was the best stay that is still in my memory. And Vishnuji can inspire anyone. He had that art. Anyone who is little down, he can pull him up. That is his, and his memory power. Whenever Pramilaji is teaching, any citing of the verse, she has to only look at Vishnu. Immediately the verse will pop out of his mouth. So such a great couple going together for Vedanta. Vedanta couple is amazing. And he was so much in support. As you all said, he is a fan of Pramilaji. Really a great fan. And I still remember once when in the young days when they were here listening to Gurudev's talks, when Vishnuji was saying, when he attended Gurudev's talk for the first time, after attending the talks, the last day we have the Guru Dakshina. And he said he had only $1,000 in his bank account. But he wrote the entire $1,000 on the check as his Guru Dakshina. That much inspired he was by Gurudev's teachings. He emptied his bank account onto Gurudev's feet. That is the glory of devotion. So both Pramilaji and Vishnuji could do that. And Chinmaya Mission will always remember their glorious service, both of them. And at that age to going to Vedanta course, it's like now when I'm my age, if you ask me to go and do the Vedanta course, I may go there if they take care of me, not teach me. Yes, it's not that easy at that age to go and study Vedanta. To run, I was 21, so I could run about very easily in the Vedanta course. It was easy to get up early, 4 o'clock in the morning and run to the Vedanta class. But at that age to go through the disciplines of the Vedanta is not easy. I can't do it now, the running time. But I may understand better now, better than at that time. But physical body may not cooperate. Therefore, I can't come to Pranitaji, so I request Pranitaji to come to me. Because the cause pervades the effect. I'm seeing Pramilaji in Pranitaji. So you all need not miss Pramilaji. If you want to see Pramilaji, meet Pranitaji. That way you can have the good old times once again. Because the effect is nothing but the cause itself in a different form. So that's what you can really see it. So thank you, Pranitaji, for being so for reminding us of Pramilaji. So all have said Pramila, the meaning in Nepal, Pramila means a gift of love. And we all experience that. So that gift of love can be cherished through their family now. So it is said that what the parents give to us, now it's the children's responsibility to maintain that same garden of culture. Not only maintain the same garden of culture and pass it on to their children. This is the tradition. That's how the Hindu culture is time immemorial. It's called eternal dharma, sanatana dharma, because every parent passed on that culture to their child and the child to their children. Thus, it has become eternal. So, Pranitaji will be maintaining the culture of Pramilaji and passing on to her children. So, we are grateful to Pramilaji and we invoke the grace and blessings of Sri Gurudev. He is our guiding light and we cherish his teachings, especially now it is so easy through Gita, 365. Short clips of Gurudev's teachings. So all of us can enjoy that. So now I request Vijay Kumarji to.
Hari Om. Now we pray. This is not a tribute to Pramilaji, but our mind, what we feel. We request the Lord to release the Atma of Pramilaji. We worship the Lord Shiva. We chant Mahamrityunjaya mantra 3 times. 3 times, one loud, second with a low volume, third with manana, adhyatmic, meaning within ourselves, slowly. And end of the 3 times Trayambagam, will observe 1 minute silence. In that silence, you think of Pramilaji, her smiling face, all her attitude and all the teachings, and pray unto Bhagavan to take her at his feet. Gently close your eyes. Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvaruhamiva Bandhana Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvaruhamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat Om Trayambagam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvaruhamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Gently open your eyes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As Asushi has shared on chat window, the Poudel family has set up a tribute wall. The link has been posted on the chat window, and the slideshow that we saw earlier is also available to see again if you would like to see that on the tribute wall. And in lieu of flowers, the family requests that donations be made to the Alzheimer's Association. So please see those messages. And if you have any further reflections or any memories that you about Pramilaji and Vishnuji that you would like to share, you may also submit articles to publish in the Chinmaya Smriti magazine. The email address is also posted on the chat windows with the --editor at chinmayadc.org. They requested by the first week of July so that it can go into the next issue. Thank you. The meeting will be open for a little bit. The formal portion of the event has concluded, but we would like to keep it because there are a lot of people we are meeting after a long time. We haven't seen many of these faces for a really long time, so we're keeping the meeting open so that we can see a few words. Riyam Balanji, very nice to see you, hear you. Sushilji, all of you. Please, everybody can unmute all the, you can unmute yourselves. Yeah. Hariom Anandji. And yeah, it would be wonderful if everybody could turn on their cameras. It would be nice to see faces.
Muraliji, would you like to share something? You worked with her so closely.
Yeah, Hariom. I don't know, I can see, you can hear me?
Yes, we can see you and hear you, Muraliji.
Okay, sorry. No, I was, yeah, I know for from the time she was introduced to Springfield chapter. She's been very loving, like everyone said. And I was a Balavihara teacher at that time, and then I used to send the summaries, class summaries, and she used to give me nice feedback and sometimes good examples about how I can give additional examples in the class. So the one specific one I remember is the one from the Kenopanishad. Kenopanishad, she was saying about how do you control the sense organs. So I was trying to give her the homework for that, but she gave me examples from, I was in reference to Vibhishana Gita, but she was referencing to the Kenopanishad chapter, verse 67 or something she mentioned, and then how, each sense organ can be weakness for one species, but then for human beings, we have weakness for all sense organs. So that's the one thing I can never forget that she was mentioning. So such examples like she was giving, like whenever I used to send. So it only shows that, how much she loves Balavihara teacher, and indirectly she loves the students, how I can, add more value to the class. So those are the things, I can never forget. She was very touching and very heartfelt. And I also visited her temple and home. She was nice. I was supporting her in the website and the register, and sometimes our technical issues were there with the email setup or some kind of alias. So I had to visit her house a few times. So yeah, those are nice memories. I can't forget those. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to say something not with about Pramilaji now, but we moved to San Diego about 3 years back, and very nice weather here, very nice views and everything. There's a Chinmaya mission also here, so we joined that. But to tell you the truth, it's not the same. We enjoyed so much.
It's like a family. So
We miss all of you and Swamiji.
Hi, Sushilji.
Hariom.
Hariom. So nice to see you after a long time.
Yes.
Very nice, very nice.
I remember Swamiji when I think he didn't have a single white hair, either in his beard or in his hair. And I tell you, he was as eloquent then as now. And his jokes, I don't think we can ever forget those things. all the jokes while he's teaching us and then come back again to the point. It's always amazing how you can do that. And Swamiji always was, it's a knack. I think that's what it is. And now we see the reflection, Swamiji's reflection in that also, how he used to talk and how Swami Dhiranandaji used to talk, or still talks that way. And we really miss those lectures and pravachans and all that. So thank you. It's nice to see everybody here. As they're long, we haven't seen quite some time. And that was a good opportunity.
Sushilji, come back and visit us, Sushilji.
I plan to do that. Let's see when it happens, but we do plan to come back, definitely.
Come. We will have a reunion. Come sooner than later. Come, please.
All right, good, good.
We have all been vaccinated, so don't worry.
Okay. Yeah.
Now you will meet the Rasgulla.
Okay, I will make it when I come. I'll make them there.
It's on her schedule, Swamiji. We don't know how to send it because that needs to be a little quicker than sending. Then it takes time, but it will be done.
It's so nice to see Nanakji, one of the founding fathers of the mission.
Hari Om, Madan, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Nice seeing you, nice seeing you.
It is Pramilaji who's brought us all the members together now today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do remember all those meetings we had at Anandji's house when our Chinmaya, the temple was coming up. We had good time at that time, and everybody had their inputs, sometimes very different, but at the end, everybody agreed in a very nice way how we are going to proceed. And I think we really achieved something there. The end result was really good.
I second that. I second that and appreciate Sushilji's input.
Anandji was one of the main factors, was a pillar for the Chinmaya Somnath project. We can never forget what he has done.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that the Chinmaya Blossoms preschool is doing very well. Even through the COVID, our numbers have gone up. As you can tell more, and it has it's flourishing, really blossoming with Gurudev's grace. So I just wanted to give you a status update about all the work, the seeds that you have sown is now all blossoming. Thank you.
No, we watch sometimes we do watch the videos, but what's going on at the temple, and we see the same people working so hard. Muktaji, Gomatiji, and Sudhita, those are like, and Sham Harholi, they're like there all the time. And it's something happened which brings them there. It's the Gurudev's, I guess, teachings, blessings, all those things do count. So
no, Sushilji, now there are a lot more new members. They've taken over the reins and they're doing very well. Dineshji and a lot of new people are there. I mean, unfortunately, we had the COVID situation, so many, everybody's missing being at the center and volunteering. And but even then, through Vijay Kumarji's classes and Arvindji's, Medhaji's classes, everybody's still very active. We are hoping when we open in person in September, everything will be, everything will come back, all the numbers.
And I think Prakash Somanji was our main person, always present for any function, for any of our meetings for the Chinmaya mission. And also, I think his input was the maximum. He got all kinds of those licenses from the county and passing all those. Not everybody can do that. He was there every time something was required. Thank you, sir.
I'm so glad.
Sushilji, your input was incredible at the time. Thank you.
And I'm glad, Ramesh ji, you could also join. We are glad to have you in this meeting today, Ramesh ji.
Hari Om, it's really nice to see everybody. So it's been a long time. So thank you. So,
may I say something?
Yes,
Sure,
please.
Prabhaji.
Okay. Hari Om. No, I just wanted to thank Pranita and Podel's whole family that sharing their parents with us all these times, you know. And I'm glad you are here. Now you know how much we loved them, you know, both of them. And there is one thing I wanted to tell about Pramilaji, that we took a couple of trips with them, you know, and every time I will touch her feet to take her blessings, she will say, no, no, we are friends. So she will lift me up and give me that special hug. So Pranita, you are welcome to call anytime, or we will see you often also, okay? Just let us know.
Thank you so much. I know I can, and you all have come through, you know, in the past, since my mother's illness.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's so many people on this video meeting that I've heard from and have come, and even when my father passed away, I just can't even thank you enough. In a really, really tough 14 months, all of you, you know, you've just been here, and I so appreciate, because you comforted me, you comforted my family, so thank you.
No, you all have given us so much, you know, so this is really nothing, you know. And thank you, Swamiji, for giving this chance.
Well, thank you, Swamiji.
Pramilaji used to like this Gurudev cover, you know, because you remember Nilkanji had this band with the, you know, so.
You have to say something.
Yes, Swamiji. So 3 quick thoughts. Number one, this afternoon, Swamiji, I was in Springfield, 1 hour drive from this place, celebrating the 80th birthday of a good friend of mine. His name is Sundar Daswani. But then in between, I just said I must leave now to attend the memorial service of Pramilaji. I mean, I had the highest regard for her. A lot of things which cannot be said. The second thought which I have, Gomati ji brought up the little topic of Rotary Club. And the life of Bishnu ji and Pramila ji is like a deep sea, miles down. You cannot imagine, I mean, at least I could not imagine that Bishnu ji was a Rotary Club member, but he was the first Indian in 80s to be the governor of Rotary Club. I was myself the member of the Rotary Club. To be the president of the Rotary Club is a very great honor. And not only that, Vishnuji was the governor of all the Rotary Clubs all over the world. Third quick thoughts. We are attending Swamiji's lectures. We are learning Vedanta. Ultimately, our goal is to have the control over 7 bhutas or Saturn, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar, Isha, and Dar. To be very honest, in your quiet moment, think of where was Pramilaji? Was she free from all these 7 bhutas? To the best of my knowledge, I had quite a close contact with her, especially with Vishnuji. Of course, with Pramilaji also. She was free from all these 7 bhutas, what we are trying to achieve. Maybe the last thing I'll say about that family, Vishnuji was the member of the United Hindu Jain Temple. Okay, Chinmaya Mission is the member, Durga Temple is the member, and he was the president of United Hindu Jain Temple. At that time, UHJT, United Hindu Jain Temple, was going so smoothly, so positively, and the atmosphere was so pleasant. But sometimes, somehow, little negativity came in. not the negative in a bad sense, but little arguments, the goals changed. Some members brought their own agendas. And that was the time Vishnuji left UHG. And that's the way I realized as far as their character is concerned. They would like to be there in the positive atmosphere. But when it comes to little negativity, they always keep themselves far from it. I mean, same thing is happening now. So like we have some member from Chinmaya Mission contributed a great deal last year to UHJT. But little negativity came in, and more or less I see his absence. And so if we really see their life, it is very, very deep, and only we can touch the surface. But I have very high regards for Vishnuji and Pramilaji. Thank you, Hari Om.
Yeah, thank you all for joining today. Hari Om Swamiji.
Shanti has something to say.
Yes,
I
Shanti.
know, I was just reflecting upon Sushilji and Meenaji's words about the volunteerism. He should come here and see the newer generations who are coming. I mean, I'm at a position to say newer generations. It is so kind of heart fulfilling to see them enthusiastic and young and all their energies. I mean, I think this is because you, the founder members, who started our center here in Chinmaya, in the Washington region, your grace and your whatever
values
you started the organization with, that strength is what is keeping us moving forward. Every day I remember you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's all Swamiji's, goes to Swamiji's credit. He has trained people, and next generation is being trained also. So all the credit goes to Swamiji.
And Gurudev.
And Gurudev, of course. Yep.
It is all
That's
Gurudev.
very true. That's very, very true.
It's all Gurudev's grace that is flowing through all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All the senior members gave a good lead for the new generation to easily follow.
So we have recorded this session, and we will try to share it. And we will also be saving all the messages that are on the chat window, and share it with the Smriti magazine, and we'll try to do the best we can. We will be
Rameshji was saying something and he got interrupted, I guess. Rameshji, is he still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. So,
Hari Om, Rameshji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. It's really nice to see all of you. So, yeah.
Yes.
So, thank you. So, yeah. Thanks, Prakashji. So.
Very nice to see you, Rameshji.
Good to see you. Thank you. Hari Om.
Look forward to seeing you in September.
Maybe after all the COVID situation is over. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And before we conclude, can we see the slideshow again and then conclude?
That's the plan, actually, Swamiji.
Oh, that's the plan.
Maniji.
Sure, let me play the slideshow.
स्थापकाय च
Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukh Karane, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Dukh Karane, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Mudhajahi Dhanagamatishna, Mudhajahi Dhanagamatishna, Purusat Buddhim Manasi Vitrishna, Purusat Buddhim Manasi Vitrishna, Yellabhase Nija Karmopatam, Yellabhase Nija Karmopatam, Vitam Tenamino Dayachitam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate, Yavat Mitopajana Shaktaha Tavam Nija Parivaro.
Oh, this is my grandmother with the glasses on the left and my aunt with the glasses on the right. And this is my family soon after they came to the US, maybe just 2 years. We lived in Brattleboro, Vermont. And my mother and grandmother. Can you all hear me?
How old was mom when she arrived here, Pramila?
She was 22.
3 children.
Very young, very young. And we lived in Arizona, and this is a picture in front of our house. This is wonderful. She was the only female of all the people, her coworkers, little tiny woman, so powerful. This is her PhD graduation. Fun, cute picture. We lived in Brattleboro, Vermont. I think I mentioned that. So this is my my mom and dad with my uncle, aunt, two other relatives. And this one. Again in Arizona. At a Nepalese function. This is my sister at my sister's house when she lived very young in New York City. They were at a party here somewhere. I think they're going to some event. This is my brother on the right, sitting with my brother for a picture. And this is my grandmother. She was in a nursing home and with her brother and sister, her 2 brothers. And this is me and my 2 daughters. We have 4 generations, my grandmother and my mom. This is very soon after they came to the US in Vermont. It's a little family picture. Her brother and family. You know, know, she used to run like 4 miles a day in the mountains in Arizona. My grandma. My grandmother and Vermont and my aunt's house. With my daughter, my oldest daughter, to get something for my daughter. So this is my family and my daughter when she was a baby. Brother, sister, me, and my brother, my mom and her brother, right, you know, pretty soon after we came to the U.S. In our house here in Vienna. Office when she got, you know, started working for the USDA. We were in Flagstaff, Arizona. We worked there. This is in Nepal. When she and my dad went for a visit. I think it must have been in Arizona. With my two girls, they're never too old to sit on their grandmother's lap. They love to sit on her lap. And my niece, with my mom and dad. Again, my oldest daughter with her grandmother. She was very attached to my mom, as you can tell. Oh, here we go. Oh, these are amazing. Thank you so much for adding these.
That's the class in Springfield. This was during the inauguration of Chinmaya Somnath, Guruji's visit. Is the opening of the Annapurna, the kitchen in the Chinmaya Somnath, and it has flourished since. This is the trip Lalita Maniji and Amma went to meet Guruji. It was in Boston, I believe. An event in Chinmaya Somnath. This is the Devi group.
This is the Lalita's house, I think, yeah? Also Lalita's house. This was in my brother's home. Again, my older daughter and my mom. Not that long ago, maybe a year and a half. He was even happy. This too, maybe last year.
family photo.
Yeah, I think Lalita hosted my mother's birthday for quite a few years. It was at her house.
Thank you all for putting this together. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hari Om.
Beautiful.
Hari Om Swamiji, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Swamiji and Guruji and Guruji for putting this together. Wonderful, wonderful program so that everybody could get together. And even though senior people, older people who started the mission in Washington, D.C., all were present. This is only 1% of the person whose lives she has touched. She has touched many more. They could not be here for some reason. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Vijay Kumar ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji. Hari Om everybody. Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Pranam Swamiji. Hari Om.
Thank you so much to those Mukta and Gomati and whoever else put this together. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Good to see you all. Hari Om.
Hari Om Anandji. Very nice to see you.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om. Hari Om.